If you're thinking about moving to Austin, you've probably heard two completely different stories. One person tells you that Austin is the best place they've ever lived, amazing food, great weather, endless things to do. And then someone else tells you it's overcrowded, too expensive, traffic is terrible, and it's not what it used to be. So who is actually right? Well, both can be true. Hey everyone, I'm Megan Hawley. I'm a realtor here in the Austin area, and I help people relocate to Austin and the surrounding suburbs. And what I've learned after helping a lot of buyers move here is this: Austin isn't just good or bad. It's about whether it fits your lifestyle. So in this video, I'm going to break down the real pros and cons of living in Austin in 2026 from my own experience, what I actually see working with buyers every day. And by the end, I'll also tell you exactly who tends to love it here and who usually ends up saying it wasn't the right move. Let's get started with pro number one. One of the biggest reasons people move here is because Austin isn't just one type of place. When people say they're moving to Austin, they could mean a lot of different things. Maybe they want to live downtown and walk to restaurants and coffee shops. Maybe they want to be near Lake Austin. Maybe they want a master planned community in Leander or Georgetown. Or maybe they want acreage in a place like Dripping Springs. Maybe they want a luxury home in Westlake. Point is, there are so many different lifestyles available here. I think this surprises a lot of people because they picture Austin as one city. In reality, the experience of living in Westlake is completely different from living somewhere like Georgetown. Living in Lakeway is completely different from living downtown. And one of the things I spend a lot of time helping clients figure out isn't necessarily what house they should buy, it's where they should live, because the lifestyle difference between neighborhoods and suburbs can be huge. And that's one of Austin's greatest strengths. There's a place for almost everyone. But that also brings us to the first con. Whenever someone moves here from California, they usually laugh when Texans complain about traffic. They'll say, this is nothing compared to Los Angeles. And I'm sure they're right. But that doesn't mean traffic isn't a real issue. Austin has grown incredibly fast over the years. The infrastructure hasn't always kept pace with that growth. What ends up happening is people look at a map and think a commute should take 20 minutes. And then reality sets in. One thing I tell clients all the time is don't just choose your home, choose your commute. A house that looks amazing online can feel a lot less amazing if you're spending an extra hour in the car every day. And because Austin is spread out, where you work and where you live matters a whole lot. So yes, Austin has traffic, maybe not the worst traffic in the country, but definitely something you should consider before you move here. Okay, on to pro number two. This is one of my favorite things about Austin. People here genuinely enjoy being outside. You have hiking trails, lakes, parks, green belts, pickleball courts, golf courses, running trails, paddleboarding, kayaking, the list goes on. And for many people from colder climates, this is a huge lifestyle upgrade. Instead of spending months indoors during winter, you're able to get outside for most of the year. One thing I hear from clients after they move here is how much more active they become. They start walking more, they spend more time outside with their kids, they find new hobbies. Austin really does encourage an outdoor lifestyle, but that also brings us to another reality and con number two. If you've watched any of my videos before, you've probably heard me talk about this. The heat is real. And if you're moving from somewhere like Chicago, Seattle, Boston, or New York City, it may take some adjustment. Summer here isn't just a season, it feels like a lifestyle. There are stretches where triple-digit temperatures become completely normal, but you can absolutely enjoy Austin in the summertime. People still go boating, swimming, paddleboarding, and spend a lot of time outdoors. But if your dream is sitting on a patio in July at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're probably going to rethink that plan pretty quickly. The trade-off is that our winters are generally mild. Most people moving here would rather deal with heat than snow. But it is important to understand what you're signing up for because summer in Texas is just different. Let's chat about pro number 3. Austin continues to attract people from all over the country because of its economy. We have technology companies, healthcare, education, finance, entrepreneurship, remote workers, startups, and large employers. And while every market experiences ups and downs, Austin remains one of the most desirable places for companies and workers alike. Many of my relocation clients are moving here for a job opportunity. Others are able to work remotely and simply want a different lifestyle. And a strong economy creates opportunities, and the opportunities attract people, which helps explain why Austin has continued growing over the years. But growth also creates challenges, which brings us to con number 3. If you've been researching Austin online, you've probably heard people say things like, Austin used to be affordable. And while affordability is relative, there is some truth to that. People moving from San Francisco may still find Austin affordable. People moving from New York may still feel they're getting more for their money. But Austin isn't the bargain city it once was. Housing costs have increased, insurance costs have gone up, utilities have increased, childcare costs, everyday expenses have increased. And I think one mistake some buyers make is assuming that because they're moving to Texas, everything is going to be inexpensive. That's really not the case. Austin is still less expensive than some major markets, but I wouldn't call it cheap. Okay. On to pro number 4. This is a big one. Texas does not have state income tax. For many families, that's one of the reasons they move here, especially if they're relocating from states with higher income taxes. Now, I always tell people not to stop their research there, because what many newcomers don't realize is that Texas makes up some of that revenue in other ways, which leads us directly into our next con. This is probably one of the biggest surprises I see with relocation buyers. People get excited about no state income tax, then they start looking at property tax bills, and suddenly they realize there's more to the story. Property taxes vary depending on where you buy, but they're often significantly higher than what people expect. That's why I encourage buyers to focus on the monthly payment, not just the home purchase price. The home might fit your budget. The question is whether the total payment fits your budget. Understanding taxes before you move can save you a lot of surprises later. Okay, on to the last pro. Let's be honest, Austin has personality. Whether it's live music, festivals, food trucks, sporting events, breweries, coffee shops, or other local events, there is usually always something happening. The food scene alone attracts people from all over. You can spend years exploring restaurants and still feel like you barely scratched the surface. There's a reason Austin has become such a popular destination. People enjoy living here, and that energy is contagious. But there is one final con that doesn't get talked about enough. Austin isn't for everyone. I know that sounds obvious, but hear me out. Sometimes people move here because they think they're supposed to. They hear Austin is growing, their friends moved here, the internet tells them it's a great place to live. But when we start talking, I realize what they actually want is something different. Maybe they want a slower pace. Maybe they want 4 seasons. Maybe they want a smaller town. Maybe they want to be closer to family. Austin isn't automatically the right answer just because it's popular. The people who tend to be happiest here are the ones who genuinely want the lifestyle Austin has to offer. So who tends to love Austin? People who enjoy warm weather, people who like being active, people who enjoy restaurants, entertainment, and outdoor activities, people who want career opportunities, and those who appreciate having lots of neighborhoods and suburb options. And who tends to struggle? People who hate hot weather, people expecting a low-cost city, people who want extensive public transportation, people who want a small town feel right in the middle of the city. And at the end of the day, Austin isn't perfect, and no city is. For the right person, it can be an amazing place to live. If you're thinking about making a move to Austin and you'd like help figuring out which neighborhood or suburb fits your lifestyle, please feel free to reach out. You can schedule a short call with me in the link below, and make sure to subscribe because I'm sharing new videos every week to help you figure out if the Austin area is actually the right fit for you. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.